Welcome to Emirates HR Forum, where we have a guest, Barbara, with us today. And she's going to be covering a very interesting topic on how you can achieve better results by understanding other people's preferences. So what we're hoping for is quite an interactive session where people can really get involved, give their views and opinions, and this will help to make sure that the learning is a lot more cemented as we go through the session. So please keep involved, keep with it. I know that Barbara will do her best to do so, to keep you involved and interested. Just a little brief from me for maximum 2 minutes. So we've been running these sessions as part of the Emirates HR Forum to support with learning within the HR community, but also outside of the HR community as well. We've been very fortunate to have people such as Barbara who are willing to give up their time to support other people's development and give them unique insights, give them perhaps a different perspective into a variety of different topics. So you've obviously signed up today because this is something that you think that you could benefit from. Barbara can give a bit of a better introduction around what she does more than I can. I will be facilitating as we go through as necessary, but I will hand it over now to Barbara to give her introduction and make a start. Now, there's just one point. The functionality of this platform is a little odd. It's a bit different if you're used to Zoom, because you won't be able to switch the webcams on, and microphones, sometimes it does work, sometimes it doesn't. But what we're going to actively encourage is that you use the chat box. And there will also be polls that are done throughout the session. So just keep an eye open for that so that you can be using the poll section as well. And any problems, please. But if you just want to send a little message through the chat box while Barbara's doing an introduction as well, just so we know that you're there and you're engaging and you're present, that would be great. So I'll hand it over to you now, Barbara, and I shall switch my webcam off.
Thanks a lot, Emma. So everyone, please do not be shy. Ask any questions, put it in the chat box, and we will definitely cover everything, because the purpose is, let's discuss about our practice, your practice, and not only to go through the slides. Hansenbeck, who's that or what's that? Swiss-German company, mainly behavioral change of the people in the business. But much more about the company we can discuss at the end. Let's go to the substance itself. So what we stated for today. Everyone is unique and everyone is different. And probably in the past we heard these recommendations: do not do anything to the other people, what you wish, what you don't wish that the rest would do towards you. But we want to be smarter. We want to react toward the people or approach them in the way that they would like to be approached. How to do it? And first of all, this is really important. Let's do a very short exercise. So please fold your hands, normally as you would sit comfortably in your chair, and you will fold your hands. Please do it now. And just observe which arm you have on the top. Is it your right or your left arm? And when you fold your arms, now change it oppositely, so that the other arm is going to be on the top. How it feels. Now, sometimes in the business meetings, we clasp our fingers together, or our hands together. And one finger is going to be on the top. Might be your right pointing finger or your left pointing finger. Again, check which of your fingers is on the top, and now change it that the other finger will sit on the top. Now, how that feels for you? Could it be that it's a bit strange? Could it be awkward? And we can already see the poll appearing. Please choose one answer only. It felt awkward, it didn't feel right, so it almost felt wrong, or it felt the same for me. No matter did I have the right arm on the top or the left, or even which finger. please go and answer the polls, because this is the best that we try out.
Few more, 3 answers now. Okay.
Go ahead.
Which 2 haven't answered? Unfortunately, I can't see, so I can't pull anybody up on it.
So we don't see your names, so feel free to put your own answers and choices.
Okay, we've got 4.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
yes,
think we
nearly.
are complete,
we've got 4
right?
out of 5.
We have another person. Please vote, or we will need to close the poll. Shall we close the poll? Let's close and let's comment on it. Can everyone see the results now? So what we got? We have, it felt awkward. We have 50% of the people said it felt awkward. And 25%, it did not feel right. It almost feels wrong. So we have 75% of you answered it didn't feel correct, or it was awkward, it was not right. And one answer was it felt the same. Wow, amazing. That's good to hear, which means that the person who answered it felt the same. It's so adaptive now in this particular exercise that it doesn't matter which arm is on the top or which finger is on the top, but we will see later on if you are equally adaptive also to the different situations. Now, what that means for us. Our way is always the right way, right? So our way, we feel, we believe that it's the right way. Is it better and more correct than the other way? Probably not. So it's so difficult to claim which way is the right way, but what's important for us? We are all different, and everyone is going to have his or her right way. And exactly in the same way, we behave in a daily business environment. We make decisions, we judge people, and we proceed in how we deal with other people. So it's our common way, the way that it's close to us. And if we want to be able to adapt to the others better, then first we need to understand ourselves better, try to observe and figure out who is on the other side, and then use a proper strategy to adapt to them. So let's go further on to see why is that so important. Why to understand ourselves better? Of course, we always believe that we are right, but it's also good to understand how other people perceive us, because as it's stated, we can only control what we are aware of. What we are not aware of, we cannot control. And unfortunately, that is going to start controlling us. So then we are not in the control of the conversation, neither in how the certain proceeding in the business is going. And we are not talking only about the business. This can be used also in the private life. Why other people sometimes react differently? As we see here, cavemen, they suddenly start throwing darts, the weapons at us. Why? Why this happens? Because maybe they don't know us. Maybe they don't understand us. And Abraham Lincoln once said very smartly, if I don't like a specific person, I should get to know that person better. And that's the same for us. We judge each other from the first moment on, and we actually put people in a different drawers. Some are stated high, some are positioned lower. Is it fair? Probably not. So let's get to know those people better and see why they are the way they are and how we can adapt to them. Now, why is that important? And let's focus on the business, because we are in the business all the time. Would it help us if we are in the client conversation, in the serious business negotiations, when we discuss with our colleagues, peers, or management, or when we are inducing other people to specific acts, what we would like them to do? Would it help us to know what is their decision-making process? What helps them to make decisions? Definitely would. Now, how can we figure that out? And you may even ask, yeah, but today we are still in the COVID-19 environment, so majority of things moved online, like we are today online, we are not face-to-face. Is this making our job easier? Not at all, unfortunately not. It's much more difficult virtually, because face-to-face, you feel the person. You can observe every movement. You observe the body language, the mimics. That's our facial expression. That's our most important communication tool. And it tells us so much. But when we are in the virtual meetings, we don't see each other fully. We don't see what the hands are doing. But all those things are so important. So it's even more important and crucial to focus on what we see, to observe the mimics, and hopefully the video works in such of negotiations so that we can see the reactions from the people. And because we said it's so difficult to find out what's behind, what is hidden behind the spoken words, the tool that is going to help us recognize the different preferences of people needs to be simple and easy to apply. So there are many, many personality analyses in the world. And majority of behavioral personality analyses are based on Carl Gustav Jung. But we on purpose have chosen Insights Discovery personality analysis. Why? Because that's the most comprehensive analysis when we speak about communication or anything, business, relations, where the communication is at its core. That's why we have chosen that one. And we will focus on it today and here. So our job is what? We want to be able to understand ourselves. Probably some of you already did analysis in the past and you already know where you are or what kind of personality you are, but maybe not everyone. We will be able to recognize at least the key points in the body language, and we will set some strategies, how we can adapt to the other people so that the relationship can be developed in the better way, have the better foundation. Insights Discovery, on what is based? Foundation lies on three main pillars. The first one is how we express our energy or how we gain energy when something good or bad happens. That's one pillar. The second pillar, how we people make decisions. Is that important for us? Absolutely, especially in business. Decision making is one of the key things if we can understand it. And the last one, how we perceive information. It stated the world around us, everything, what comes. And today in business, we know that amount of information, it's enormous. So it's so crucial and so important how we deal with them, how we process those information. And knowing what our counterparts prefer in dealing with information can be a useful point for us. Let's check the first one. So how we express our energy. Here it's stated introversion, extroversion. Probably we all heard we heard about the people who are more extroverted. What would be typical for us when we say, oh, that's an extroverted person? What we usually assume or we believe? That the person talks a lot, that is pretty approachable, easy to access, easy to have conversation with, and usually pretty loud personalities as well. Is that so? Partially, yes, but there is additional aspect to it. So what means being extrovert? Means also that we express our energy with other people and we gain energy from other people. On the other point, to extrovert is introvert. Oh, the other way, so that it goes well with the presentation. What is the typical for introvert people? They're much more calm. They're observing. They're focused inward into themselves, strongly reflecting, highly reflective people, highly aware of their behavior. Also very cautious and thoughtful before they will take any actions. Now you will say, okay, that's description. How we can practically see the difference? Think for yourself. Let's say something bad happens. Either you have just lost a really important deal or a client, or a very negative information came about a company. So it's really affecting you personally. How would you react? Would you go to your colleagues, anyone, and discuss with them what happened to you, search for advice, or maybe not even advice, just discuss, because this will give you energy to move forward? Or you would first go into your room or your office, you will think about it. What happened? Why happened like that? You will self-reflect what might have been the reasons for failure. And maybe at the end, you would go and discuss it with the trusted people only. Where's the difference? The first one is definitely extroverted behavior. Extroverted people will discuss their personal issues with the total strangers. And they just need that energy, or we need that energy. We need to meet people in order to boost up, to go forward, to breach the problem, the challenge that we just were confronted with. But introvert behavior requires first to sit down for yourself, to reflect, analyze, and when you figure out what might have been success or failure reasons, then you will consciously choose the trusted person that you want to discuss with them. Let's see what you are more. So which is your preferred way? We have another poll and we have 3 questions. The first question, what working environment you prefer, and also what environment helps you to be more productive? The first possible answer, your own office, or at least private corner, where you can focus on your work and you can also reflect without being interrupted all the time. When I say own office, I know that this can be also the status symbol. We are not talking about that. We are talking purely about a quiet environment where you can work properly. Question number 2, you would like to celebrate your job promotion. What would you prefer to do? You would select a few chosen people, invite them home and arrange a certain gathering there, or you definitely want to go outside in a public place? And the last question, COVID-19 hit us all. So let's consider at the moment we are already allowed to go to work from the office. So this first shock is over. How do you feel today? Do you feel you are absolutely fine working from home and from office in combination? But even your free time, you actually feel pretty much comfortable spending most of your free time with your family? Or you are almost depressed because you cannot share your free time with variety and number of your friends that you have? So we have few answers already. Let's see where we are. The third
Not clear
question,
to anybody. On the right, there are the three questions are there. If you might need to sort of scroll down to see all three of them, because I've added all of them in. So if you can all select.
We are still answering, yes. Yes, very good. Thanks, Emma. Yeah. Just, choose one of them. We cannot choose both. So you answer all three questions, but you are going to choose one answer only. We have the last two questions are already answered. What about the first one? As well. Oh, everyone wants to have own office. What that means? That means that is a status symbol for you or what? So what would that mean? If we like to have a corner, a space where we are uninterrupted and we can really work focused, what that means for us? That's much more introverted behavior. And working in an open space where you can join any conversation around, when you are always aware of what's going on in the office, that's definitely much more extroverted behavior. And now you may ask, but how come I answered one question with more extrovert or introvert answer and the other one with the opposite? How is that possible? Is that accurate at all? Yes, it is possible. It's not black and white. It doesn't mean I am extrovert, I am definitely not introvert. No, here we have a line. So as we have seen before, just let me move the slide back that we can see it here. So you see we have the circle in the middle and we have the horizontal line and there are markings on that line. So we can be at any stage of this line. Strongly on your right side, so the red-yellow color, that means you are stronger extrovert. The most right point would be the most extrovert behavior. But we are usually on that line. So that means we all have the certain behaviors which are more extrovert and some that are more introvert. The question is, where is the dominance? So dominantly where we are. And it can also happen that you are closer to the middle, which means in some situations you would react more extrovert and in some more introvert. Now, if we go to the question 2, so now the working environment is clear. 100% everyone prefers to work in the office, which is introvert behavior. You would like to celebrate your promotion. Oh, so 83% of people would prefer to entertain evening with the chosen friends, which also shows more introvert behavior. I know that we are now much more aware of this COVID-19 risk, so this probably already direct our answers. But still we have one answer which says, oh, I would love to organize a larger party. What means in the practice for us? Strongly extrovert people, they would prefer to have a party outside in a public place. Why? Because they want more people to see and to hear about their success. They wouldn't mind if the chef of the restaurant would bring a special cake or a treat and congratulate them and because of their success. So they would love that. They love attention. They want to be in the light spot. While the introvert people, introvert behavior, prefer to stay behind, not to be too much exposed. That's why it's common that they would, even if they would go into the public, they wouldn't necessarily announce or tell everyone what is the cause or what's the reason for the celebration. And if we go to the last one, last question. So we have current situation with the COVID-19. Yeah, we were equal, 50-50. Some of you say, I'm absolutely fine spending my free time with the family, which would be more introvert decision. And, oh, I miss spending my free time with the friends, which would be definitely much more extrovert decision. Now, are we always introvert or always extrovert? Imagine the situation that you are like I don't know, salespeople or in the business, you have a lot to do with the clients, customer care. So you are daily, all the time, almost every hour, you are in contact with other people, which requires a lot of extrovert energy. And when you come back home, you may sometimes just sit down and be very happy to watch TV or read a book and not be disturbed at all. So you are not the biggest entertainer at home afterwards. What that means? That you are not an extrovert person? Not at all. We all need a balance. So if we need to be more extrovert people, because we adapted to this requirement, it can happen that at home, we might be a bit pulled back, more relaxed and more quiet. Now, whenever we do those analyses, often comes the question, what shall I consider, the business environment or my private environment? We usually do those analyses to support and boost the business. So let's consider the business environment. But let's be aware that even if our job requires strongly extrovert behavior, on the other hand, we may need to balance out at home when we are in the safe environment and not being under scrutinization of our clients. Now, that was one pillar. We said where we get the energy from, more extrovert, more introvert people. And here from the answers, what we got by now, it looks like we have a bit of, let's say, introvert behavior among us as well. Let's go to the other pillar, how we make decisions or how our clients make decisions. Extremely important for us to understand. And the picture already tells a lot. So we have on one side, the thinking side, we have the cogwheels, which means how we make decisions, logical, factual, pretty much formal, detached from the emotions and personality. We try to be objective as much as possible, and we are definitely task-oriented. While on the other side, some people will make decisions considering other people's behavior, their emotions, their values, personal values. They will try to understand subjective reasons. It's the same for our clients. We have both. We have thinking decision-making clients and we have feeling decision-making clients. So this is the vertical axis that we are considering here. Now, how to understand it in practice? Let's think about a situation where a crime happened and the culprit was caught. And now the judge is searching for the best solution or for the best punishment. Let's take a thinking, decision-making judge. What he or she would say? They would probably say, according to the Law 13, Article 25, the person gets 3 years in jail and 1 year of the public social work in addition. But if we would have the feeling decision-making judge, he might say, the culprit has 2-year-old son. So how this imprisonment would impact the son? Let's give the culprit 4 years home jail and 3 years additional public serving work. So what that means, is it thinking decision-making stronger, stricter, firmer than the feeling? Not necessary. It's just based on a different foundation. Sometimes feeling decision-making can be much harsher than the thinking one. What we need to know in the business when we deal with our clients, if they're making most of decisions in a thinking way, that means they will care about the facts, the benefits they're getting, the impact on their company, where they're making savings, where they can earn more money, what is the impact on the ROI. But if we have on the other side also feeling decision makers, then all those points will be important. but they will consider in addition as well how the change or your product and service is going to impact their people, how it's going to impact engagement of their people, the reputation of the company. They might buy certain service because they want to show, I am dealing with international companies only, or I am environmental aware and it's extremely important area for me. So they're willing to invest in that area. So it's thinking means facts only. Considered feeling means we have the facts, but we add the emotional part, the feeling part in addition. And usually the feeling part means how certain decision impacts other people. So always think about, try to observe your clients, try to understand how they're making decisions. And we have another poll for you. So another situation when we are going to see where you stand stronger, thinking decision-making or feeling decision-making. What is the situation? Your team, let's imagine that you are part of the team that you have been asked to attend a prestigious conference this year. And it's going to be held in the excited overseas location, Virgin Islands. However, this year was not the best year. And the last quarter, unfortunately, our company had pretty poor results. So that's why they said, sorry, only half of the group can travel. Half of the group will need to stay at home. Now, of course, is the question, how to choose this half of the people or half of the group that is going to travel. There will be few options available. You can already see them under the polls. Please choose your preferred answer. Only one answer it's possible. So please go for the one that it's really deep in your heart, that really represents your strong opinion.
I think there's three more that could. I can't answer, unfortunately. I would go for represents the company image. That would be mine.
Okay, thanks a lot, Emma. So what we see, if we all see the answers, right? The first answer, who can provide highest value add to the company? What would you say? Is this more rational thinking decision-making or the feeling decision-making? It's definitely rational. It's up there. So it's thinking decision-making. How we can get the higher value add afterwards. The last one, highest productivity and best results in that last year. So we need to appreciate and acknowledge good results. That's typical for the thinking decision-making. We care about results. We don't care so much about the people, feelings and behavior, if I exaggerate a bit. So it's the first and the last are represents thinking decision-making. So among us today, we have strong decision-making, thinking decision-making power. Best represent the company image, where the image comes from. It's the feeling decision-making. It's a softer factor, but we will not say less important. It's extremely important. It's just we don't check only the results, the figures, but we think about the impact of the future. Same the second one, longest time in the company and not yet attended any of such of prestigious conferences. That would be taking care of the people. Let's give them the equal opportunities that they can attend as well. So it's typical feeling decision-making. Now, how to use that in the practice? What that means for us. Think about your clients or think about your manager or your colleagues. When we need to persuade them about something, when we need to induce them to take certain decision, how they are working, what's their way, just think about the meetings or the time you spent with them. What have they been emphasizing all the time? Results, higher productivity, savings, ROI. If this is one of their key words that they're saying genuinely, then they're thinking decision makers. So when we need to convince them about something, make sure you will prepare all those points there. Don't spend too much time on impact on other people. The numbers, the facts needs to be there. But if you know that your colleagues or your manager or your client do care also about the image of the company, how we are going to be perceived, how this is going to impact the people, their engagement, this is the feeling decision making. It's possible that there is a mix. It's normally always a mix between thinking and feeling, but one is more dominant. And we need to hit that part that is more dominant. So if your manager really genuinely cares about the people, then it's not good to come with, that guy doesn't perform, we need to get rid of him. But this is what is not the case. So the performance is not there. How this is going to impact the whole team, how this is going to impact the results of the company and our reputation, and at the end, your vision and strategy that you are taking. So that would be definitely much more feeling decision-making approach. We just covered two. So we have where we get the energy and how we express energy, extrovert, introvert, and how we make decisions, thinking, feeling, decision-making. And there is another one. So what is the third pillar or the third major part in that is foundation of this analysis? How we perceive information. And we have so-called intuitive people and sensing people. It's probably the most difficult trait to be observed in the daily life. But let's give one example. In 1982, if I'm not wrong, Bill Gates said, PC on every desk in every moment. And exactly at the same time, Michael Dell, who was similar age, same business in IT technology, and who was actually having also the company, same as Bill Gates, said, we don't have such a big tables that PC could be placed there, so not possible. What this tells us? Bill Gates was highly, or it's highly intuitive person, thinking about the future, thinking about aspiration, where we can come, these abstract ideas, which are today not yet perceived as possible, but just look at where we are today. It's not only that we have PC on every desk, we have it on our watches, we have it everywhere on our mobile phones. And Michael Dell, today, he's still leading the Dell Corporation. He's still dealing with the boxes, if we say it like that, and he's still in the business, while Bill Gates moved to other dimensions, to other business occupations. But Michael Dell is the one who is down to earth, who thinks about practical, precise, factual way. Can we do it or not, and how to do it? Now you may say, what's better? Nothing is better. We need both. Bill Gates' idea, without the hard work and perseverance of Michael Dell, would never found the solution. So without Michael Dell, without the sensing capacity, capability, he wouldn't be able to have his idea coming into reality. So we need both. We need the right way, the right balance. But what again that means for us, or how to recognize it. And you can even try out with your kids at home. What kind of person you are. Let's say you buy a new device, a new mobile phone, a new camera, a new home cinema, a new device, what would you do first? Would you press all the buttons first to try out how it works? Or would you first read the manual, make sure that you are not going to press the wrong button, and then test it? What's your way? If you would say, oh, I always press the buttons, then you are a more intuitive person, which means you try out, you don't care about the details or not enough. You think about the possibilities, how to utilize, how to use it, but not what everything is necessary to use it. If you are a person who would definitely first read the manuals because you know that pressing the wrong button can actually damage the device, and this can happen, then you are more into the sensing capacity. So you are much more sensing person, perceiving information and new things in the sensing way. How to test with your kids? In the shops, I think they are still selling these surprise eggs, Kinder eggs. So buy it, give it to your child and observe them already at early age. It's incredible, but we can see these threads. When they open, often inside are parts that you need to assemble to get a certain figure out. So if your child starts to put together things without reading these small instructions, and instead of a giraffe is going to be a lion at the end, that means your kid is probably much more intuitive. But if your child would first check the manuals, how the things need to be assembled together, then you have a strong sensing capacity with your child. Both are great. We need everything. But it's important to see how they perceive information, what is important for them. In a nutshell, intuitive people, when they get a certain bunch of information, they will create a story out of it. They will see the things, interpret the things in the way that actually don't exist yet. But if you have sensing group of people or the person, they will scrutinize every and each detail. It's amazing how they can perceive details, really small things. They will observe and remember small things, while intuitive people probably will hardly be able to even recognize the details. Sometimes, if we would observe a painting, a picture, some people will make a story out of it, what's behind. And some people will tell you exactly how many colors, which objects have been painted there. And often they would argue and will not be able to agree what exactly was interpretation of the picture. What that means for us. Let's know how our people, how our management, how our customers perceive information, because then we are going to deliver what they want to hear, what they want to see. If you are offering a solution to your clients and you have intuitive person on the other side, then let's make sure that you will show the story, the vision, how this solution can position their company, their department, themselves into the certain level. What's going to happen, how the reputation will be higher and how they will be perceived by the people. While if the main decision maker, it's more sensing, then we should not spend too much time in creating the vision, but rather to go into the facts, what can be done, how this is going to impact every individual engaged, their results, and how they will be seen as a company, so how productivity is going to increase, or the impact what's going to be. So it's always people want to see something else. If we understand what they want to see, we can adapt. The question might be, so we are just creating different stories and we are lying sometimes. Not at all. Everything has at least two sides. So a certain solution can be presented in so many different ways. It's just what we emphasize. What kind of people are on the other side? And normally, you don't present or you don't convince only one person, but you need to convince a group of people, and they might be very different. So what is important for us to be successful? Find something for everyone. So something for intuitive people and something for sensing, so that both would feel convinced, but that also both would feel being understood. It's not being happy, but being understood. They will say, wow, they really understand our needs. They really understood what we would like to achieve. So think about how to present your solutions. Now, we have 3 dimensions. Let's put them, because we see this wheel in the middle. Let's put them on one wheel. And what we get, it's so-called Insights Discovery Wheel. Why we have those colors? Colors, what we said on our, I think was second slide, we said the tool needs to be simple in order to be able to use it. Colors are purely simplification of certain behaviors. We could say that the person is thinking decision maker and it's introvert, and that would mean cool blue personality. Why cool blue personality? Because it describes it like that. What can we expect with the people who have strong blue preference? They're very much structured. They want to know the phases. If you are offering a service, it's not enough to show them what's going to be the result. They want to see the steps, how we are going to come there, because this gives them confidence. They're very well organized. If we ever enter into their office, we will most probably see okay, today it's a lot paperless, but if they're still dealing with the papers, will be folders well, neatly organized, maybe even numbered or alphabetical ordered. But even if we just look at working environment, the table, the desk where they are working at, usually everything on its right place. So it's not a mess or a bunch of papers all around. They're very factual, but also very functional. So to the point, this brings the value add here, this can be used here. So not too much dreaming about how to utilize. They're formal. Now, if we think about what can we observe, because we cannot observe everything. We can observe a body language. We can observe the way how they talk, interact with us, and we can observe also the mimics. When we speak about the blue preference, they will not show much mimic. So here will be pretty much stiff, so not much expressions. When we meet them, yeah, now in COVID situation, we don't shake hands anymore. But if and when we can shake hands again, you will see that that's the only reaction for them, shaking hands. But even when they offer you the hand, you will see that there will be the space between you. So don't come too close to me. I need the personal space. And that's typical blue behavior. Very common body language is I'm thinking about something. So it's half closed position and I'm thinking, judging, observing the others. They are perfectionists. They want to do the things in the best possible way. That's why they're also very critical and observing us. It's not uncommon seeing 2 blue preferenced people standing next to each other and having the same posture. And they still respect each other and they like the conversation, but they need this distance. If we move forward, red, fiery red, it's still thinking decision making. So that means facts. But now we have the extrovert person. What's typical for them? The name, fiery red, tells us already a lot. There must be some fire behind. They are fast, they are very determined, They are absolutely goal-oriented. They would do everything to achieve goals, even harm the people. When I say harm the people, I mean in the business environment, goals are more important than the people. So if we need to work the full day till the midnight to accomplish something, then I don't care if you have the opera in the evening. The job needs to be done. So we would neglect people because of the business focus, the business goal. That would be typical red behavior. What is common for them? They have very strong eye contact, extremely strong. Here in the Middle East, we experience that a lot, this strong eye contact. But the red personality will use it almost naturally. A very strong handshake. They don't like to touch each other too much, but a strong, firm handshake will definitely be their signature. What else? If we speak about attire, so to recognize people, both cool blue and the red people, they will be pretty much formal. So business attire, not too much colors, not too much experimenting with the fashion, but it's classical business. The blue pays for the quality. The red might pay sometimes also for the brand, but they would never buy the fake. If they would support the brand, they would buy the original product. They're very efficient, they're still formal, they are structured, but they're fast. So goal, it's important, let's go. They're great initiators of the new ideas, and they're the one who can really push the others toward the goals. Typical body language that we can see are hands in the hips, which is commonly perceived as arrogant. It can be also dominant. They forget that's their natural behavior. So whenever you see people commonly, not only once, but commonly having one hand in the hip, speaking to the people, or even both, might be some red energy in their personality. If we move down, sunshine yellow, the name already tells again. When they get into the room, it's like the sun would shine inside. They bring the energy. They are lively, they are stimulating, they are loud, they like to laugh, they are quickly motivated or enthusiastic about the new idea, but they will also be able to motivate the others and pull them behind. What else is important for them? They will be much more liberal with the attire. So when we observe them, latest fashionable trends, much braver with the different colors, playing with the colors. Men, if they would wear long hair or a ponytail, there is definitely a yellow energy in them. Because the fiery red or the blue, they wouldn't wear the long hair or the earrings for the men. But the green, they wouldn't dare. So if somebody is a bit, let's say, extravagant, different, not according to the general business acceptance or business etiquette in attire, then must be some yellow energy inside. Even the yellow energy, they love the brands. They like to show off. They like to be under the spotlight. They like the attention. So they might even go for a fake product just to show, but a good quality fake product just to show that they have a brand product. How we can recognize their interaction or mimics? They have a very strong mimic. So their face speaks. They use the eyebrows. They use everything to emphasize. A lot of hand gestures as well. While the blue would be pretty much stiff, the yellow, they will have very, very strong hand gestures. They are loud. And if the blue and the red, they usually shake hands. The yellow preference encourage them to get a bit of the touch to the person as well. They like to tap the shoulder. They like to embrace each other, not only because of the cultural nature, but for them, pretty soon, they would feel comfortable to get more in touch with the person, so also touching each other. Either it's the shoulder or it's really embracing each other. Now let's move to the introvert side. Now it's feeling decision-making introvert. What is typical here? Earth green shows already certain balance. So meaning what? These are the people with the highest values. They are extremely strong with, they love the harmony among the people. They care, they are very strong in caring about the other people. They're very friendly. How to recognize them? Handshake is going to be softer, will not be this firm handshake. Also, eye contact will not be so strong. What else can we see with them? They will probably have much more pastel colors, so softer colors, softer patterns, not so strictly business-wise. How we can recognize them when they meet other people? They will usually find a nice corner, especially if there is a gathering or an event. They will find a person, a cozy corner somewhere. They will sit down in a very friendly, open environment, but they will not stand in the spotlight. What else can we say for them? They're probably the most loyal people in the companies. But now, based on everything what we said, let's try to recognize them. And what is better than the body language to be observed? And we have another 4 polls where we are going to observe the body language of the people there, and we will try to figure out which preference, which color preference is dominant for them. Let's not forget, we all have all 4 color preferences, all 4. It's just some of them are dominantly expressed. And this is what we can recognize. The lower ones, we cannot. Let's go to the poll. So what we see here, we have a lady and a gentleman. Lady is touching the gentleman. We have in the middle the lady jumping up because she's really happy about something. A strong thumb up gesture, and the gentleman who also shows all his feelings. What would you say would be a dominant preference color for these 5 people? Is the same color for them. So just choose one preference color, blue, red, yellow, green, that would be dominant for these 5 people here on the picture. And Emma, please, if you can start the poll.
Put the poll up now. Just a second. Here we go.
Okay, so what would be a typical behavior here? Whoa! First answer, yellow. 2 answers, yellow. Anyone else? Let's see if we are correct. Who hasn't voted yet? All yellow. Congratulations, well done. So yes, it's yellow behavior. Let's go to the next one. What we see here. 2 gentlemen are thinking, judging for themselves. We have this typical position, looking a bit up, hands together, almost judging, and the lady below also thinking about something. What would be a typical preference in this case if we only observe the body language? Blue is the first answer. Think about. Two answers. One more. Are we correct with blue? Well done. Absolutely. So what we said, the blue preference would be more considered. Think about the others. Try to understand behavior. Also, not too much facial expression and definitely not the body touch. So if we can avoid it, we prefer to stay away from others, to have our own personal space. Let's go to the next one. What we see here, the lady and the man are handshaking. We have a lady, hands in the hips. We have a gentleman, closed position, but we see chin up. So it's almost a bit arrogant. Whoa, and the first answer already came. And you are absolutely correct. Bravo, you are really doing well. So it's a red preference. So these hands in the hips, a firm handshake, a certain distance, very confident posture. It's very common for the red preference. And we have one more. What we see here, the gentleman has hands in the pocket, so it's pretty much relaxed atmosphere. Even the other person has also closed hands, what we saw now already with the red and the blue. But it's the position of the head is different. It's looking much down, it's not up, it's not judging us. And the lady, yeah, the answers are already coming. The lady and the gentleman sitting in the corner, cozy. Usually in the offices, it's often when they invite you not to the negotiation table, but to the lower table where they serve coffee, tea, and you are sitting in the sofa. That's very green behavior. So you are absolutely right. This would be the green preference. We were focusing on the body language because that's probably the easiest to observe and the easiest to get the clues, what kind of people we have in front of us. Are we always correct? Of course not. We can make mistakes, but it's a trial. Observe well. Try to find out what would be the main preference. If we just hit the first main preference and we adapt to it, this will already bring us good results. Now, how to adapt ourselves? And the question is also, why to adapt ourselves? I think it was Darwin who said, it's not the strongest ones that will survive, but those that are the most, that can adapt at most, that has the highest capacity of adaptivity. What can we do? So when we are dealing with the green preference people, we recognize this green preference. How should we behave in the business? Whenever we meet them, take time. Don't push them for the answer and for decision immediately. They will not take it, but they will take it personally against us. So give them enough time to consider, to take decision. Yes, do follow up respectfully. And if you agree with them to follow up in a week time, then follow up in a week time, not after 2 days. They don't like this interruption. They like to have a certain agreed, respected pace. They usually like to have slower pace. When you present, yes, we always want to see enthusiastic presentation. Don't exaggerate, because they might get almost a bit offended if you are too live. Ask them questions, not only tell. They like to be engaged. And when we ask questions, wait a bit. Don't jump immediately to that question. They need time to think about, and they will provide the answer afterwards. Often these are more silent people who pull back often when it's a bigger audience. If you want to get their opinion, and they usually have a very good opinion, they just don't express it immediately, then ask them for their opinion, because they can have very valuable contribution. When we deal with the blue preference people, They want to have the facts. The first thing what we need to do, prepare well for the meeting. If you are more yellow preference person, now you probably already think about what you are. Then we'll say over prepare, because for them, nothing is good enough or preparation is good enough. So really prepare everything together. If they surprise you with a question that you don't know how to answer, don't bluff. Be honest and say, if I want to give you exact, precise answer, I would really like to check that with the expert first, and I'll come back to you. They don't need the answer now, but they want to have accurate, correct, right answer with the proper argumentation and some facts behind. I know that we often say small talk and know them better and the family and so on. Stick to the business with them. They wouldn't like to share too much about themselves. But if they start, then let them initiate that conversation, not to ask everyone, how is your family? Listen to them. The pace with the blue preference will also be a bit slower, will not be so fast. Why? Because they think everything through already while they're talking. They will always have a good argument behind. They will not just say it. If we move to the red side, they're fast. Here pace goes up. They want to have the answers now. They like to challenge you, but they also like to be challenged back. So what's important for us? Be clear, focus on the results, as it's stated. Be brief, be to the point, and be gone afterwards. A very nice signal to us when they start playing with the pen. That means you are too slow, or you are away from what they're interested in. Focus on the top, on the point, ask them question. You can push them a bit regarding the decisions. So they don't need to consider or discuss with too many people. They like to make their own decisions, but focus on the results. Pace will be faster, adapt to it. They don't need details, just show the frame, but not all the details. If we go further down to the yellow preference, how to behave in the meeting when we have the yellow preference ahead of us. Show your enthusiasm, show your passion. If there will be no passion, they will not believe you. They need that. Engage them that they will take part in that solution that you are preparing. Don't exclude them out. They love to have fun during the work as well, which means how the certain solution, how what you are offering them is going to impact people and the reputation of the company or their own image. That's extremely important. Have presentation if you are presenting with a lot of images, with lively, present lively, not only do the facts. And with them, don't stick to one topic only. They will jump. Don't be confused. Follow them. You will probably talk about so many things during the meeting, but at the end, you will need to catch up with them. They like to promise. They even like to overpromise. So we need to follow up strictly with them. If you have your sales team, you can already think who is good where. The blue will be great if it's stronger blue preference, your people, they will be great in analyzing. If they're in sales or research, they will definitely do a great analysis of potential clients. If they're yellow, they will be great to knock on the door and do the first interaction. They will probably get the contacts everywhere. Are they always qualified contacts? Not necessary. Here the red will be better. They are good to spot the right contacts and they have no fear in confrontation. So whenever we will have a dispute, the red will not hide, that's for sure. What is the preference or what's the benefit of the green preference if we look from the sales point of view? They are the best fosterers of the new business. They will probably develop most business cross-sell, upsell with existing clients. They are the strongest customer care people as well. So always think about, if you consider your team, what kind of preference you have there. We need to do everything, that's for sure. But you can already figure out who is strong where and where we need a bit of the push or a bit of the support. Now, if these few slides already caught your attention or triggered you that you would like to know more, how this can be done? Analysis can be done anywhere. We will most probably here, of course, will be discussion with Emma, organize a workshop together with Emirates HR in the future, probably in the next year, where you could also take analysis. Below you see the picture of the whole analysis. So it's approximately, I think it's 22 pages of the foundation chapter where you can understand yourself, also how it's your shadow picture, meaning how it's your natural you and how it's your adapted you, because we all adapt to the certain situations and circumstances. And there is also a preference flow. So how much energy I need to put into my adaptation, how much it costs me, and what is important, where I get these sources of energy. So this is possible to be done. You can either contact Emma or myself if you are interested, but I do hope that in the future we can organize the real session where means you would go through you would do analysis, you would get analysis, and then we can discuss the individual ways how to deal with people in your situations. So much about insights discovery. Now questions from your side. Anything that I was not clear or you would like to know more in details, feel free to write in the chat box. So we are definitely going to check here.
Right. I'll put my camera back on as well, so people know that I'm actually here. We will share this video afterwards because everything's been recorded. And we will also provide Barbara's contact details. So if you do have any other questions, then you can reach out to her or channel them through me. But just from my perspective, in terms of that tool, it is a very valuable, insightful tool that's, as we can see, is very applicable within businesses and in terms of developing your own self-awareness. So, you know, I'm a believer in that specific tool. But it was interesting for me to go through everything again and understand that. So I think it's been a really great session. And as I mentioned, if you want to, you know, if you miss parts of it and you want to tap into it again, it will be saved onto the forum. The video will be soon, and you can reach out to Barbara for any additional information that you might want. So unless there's anything else from your side, Barbara, that you want to add?
I would just say, think about yourself. So where you see yourself, think about your spouse or your friends and try to observe them better, because every day we can get sharper in observation and you can try different approach and then you will see, is it working or not? But from the experience, I can only say, definitely it works. So utilize it as much as you can.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you for everybody who's attended and engaged as well. I wish you all a great rest of the day. So I'll end the session now. Thank you.
Take care, everyone.